In this video, we're going to look at Chapter 1, Excel Basics. We're going to begin by opening up our file. The name of our file is called Chapter 1 Practice. And we're going to look at the sheet called Chapter 1. First thing we're going to do is we're going to change the theme for our sheet. And how you go about doing that is by clicking on Page Layout. Come over here to the left. Click the down arrow underneath Themes. And the theme that we're looking for is called Integral. Click on it. Next, we're going to widen our column. We're going to begin by widening our column A to 80 pixels. So we're going to choose column A. Come up here where we have the cross and hold down our left mouse and drag it over to 80 pixels. And release. Next, we're going to choose the columns B through H. So we're going to click on column B. And to go all the way over to H, we're going to hold down our Shift key and left click on H so that all the columns are now selected, B through H. So we clicked on B, held down the Shift key, and left clicked on H. And we're going to widen those columns to 110 pixels. So they've been selected. We have our cross here. Hold down the left mouse and drag it over to 110 and release. Next, we're going to go up to our title and we're going to merge and center that title. Our title is called McKenna Restaurants and we're going to merge and center it in between A1 to H1. So our first step is to highlight from A1 all the way over to H1. And then click on Merge and Center. We're going to change our cell style for McKenna Restaurants to title cell style. So how we do that, still highlighted. Come over here to Styles. Click the down arrow. And we're going to choose Title. Next, we're going to merge and center our subtitle. So the first step to merge and centering it is always to choose the area. In between what area are we going to merge and center it? So we're going to highlight between A2 through H2. So it's between this area right here that we're going to merge and center 2016 McKenna Restaurant Sales. So we've highlighted it. Next, click on Merge and Center. We're going to apply another cell style to this area. And the cell style is called Heading 1. Styles. Click here. Heading 1. Next, we're going to choose this area here, quarter 1, all the way over to Trend. We're going to highlight it. We're going to center that information. Clicking right here. And we're going to apply a Heading 4 cell style. So it's highlighted. Heading 4 cell style. We've made that change. Next, we're going to sum our sales for quarter one. So we have our sales for quarter one. We're going to sum that information. So we're going to position our cursor here in B24. Click on Auto Sum. Excel has guessed the proper range. We're going to sum starting in cell B4. The colon means a range, so starting at B4 all the way to B23. Click the check mark or hit enter. Always double check your formula, and the easiest way of doing that is by going back into the formula and quickly double left clicking. It's commonly referred to as range finder. By quickly double left clicking, it's graphically showing you the area that we're summing. Looks fine. Come over here and we're going to copy the pattern. We get our plus and drag it across. So we're going to copy that pattern. Come to this cell here just to double check and quickly double left click. And we can see once again that we've summed the right information. Next, we're going to sum the sales to get the yearly total, which is basically summing from quarter one all the way to quarter four. Easiest way of doing that is by highlighting the first restaurant's range. Highlight it. Come over here to Auto Sum and click on Sum. Come back into the cell and double check. Make sure that we've done the proper range. And the easiest way of doing that is by quickly double left clicking. Once again, it's showing from B4 all the way over to E4. We can now go to our fill handle and copy down that formula. By holding down, we have a plus here. Hold down our left mouse and drag it down. Next, what we're going to do is apply the accounting number format to our first row of sales. So we're going to highlight it. Come up here to where the dollar sign is. If you hover over it, it's telling you it's the accounting number format. Click it. Come down to our total row. Highlight it. And once again, apply the counting number format. The remaining information we're going to highlight and change that to the comma format. Which is right over here. Next, we're going to insert a row to add another restaurant. And we're going to insert a row right above the total sales. How we go about doing that is by clicking on row 24, because we want a row right above it. So we've clicked on 24. That entire row is now highlighted. Right click, insert. We have our row. Next, we have restaurant 20. And we're going to go to our fill handle. We have our plus, drag it down. and we're going to put in 100ths for this other row. The easiest way of copying the formula here, okay, there's nothing in here right now, is to go above, go to our fill handle, we have our plus, drag it down. So we're copying that formula down. And to double check it, quickly double left click. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to compute for each restaurant what the percentage of the total sales were. Very important formula. So we're going to compute for each restaurant their sales as a percentage of the total sales. It's a formula. So we're going to go up into cell G4. All formulas begin with an equal sign. We're going to take the sales for that restaurant 1, and we're going to click on it with our mouse. The sales happen to be in F4. Divided by 8,000, which happens to be in F25. Click the check mark. The information for this restaurant 1 will be correct. But what I'm going to do is I want to emphasize the importance of using an absolute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag down or copy this information all the way down to this point right here and release. And lo and behold, I'm getting an error message all the way down. Now, let's stop for a second and think of what might have gone wrong. If we had just a pad and pencil, in order to compute this information, you would take the total for restaurant 1, 400 divided by 8,000. For restaurant 2, it's going to be, once again, 400 divided by 8,000. Restaurant 3, 400 divided by 8,000. In all cases, the denominator is fixed. It's an absolute. Our denominator will always be 8,000. Now what happened here for the first formula, if I quickly double left click, it will show me that I have 400, F4, divided by my grand total. That's correct. Directly underneath it, I'm beginning to get my error message. If I quickly double left click, I'm going to see that I have 400 divided by F26, which has nothing in it. That's why we're getting the error message. Directly beneath that, for the third one, quickly double left click, 400 divided by F27. There is no information in F27. We are not looking at that denominator of 8,000. So Excel took a guess. And Excel guessed the wrong position of our denominator. Let's go up to the top where we've done it properly. F4 divided by F25. What we need to do is to fix or make constant that denominator of 8,000, which happens to be in F25. And how we do that is by clicking on the function key F4. When you do that, we now have a $F and a $25. It's locked in that value in F25. It's locked in the denominator. check mark, drag our pattern all the way down. So I went to the fill handle and copied it down. Release. If we want to change this to a percentage, come up here and click on percent. If I want to move it to one place, I can click here on increase decimal. And I would probably want to center that information. But the most important thing here is this idea of an absolute. If I click over here or double left click, 400 divided by $F $25, we've locked in or made absolute the value in that cell F25. We're not giving Excel a chance to guess where the information is. Okay, we've locked it in, we've made it an absolute, and how we do that is by clicking on or tapping F4, the function key. Next, we're going to insert sparklines within our worksheet. Basically, what sparklines are charts drawn within a cell. Okay, so first off, we're going to highlight the area where those sparklines are going to be. So in each of these cells in this range here, we're going to have a small chart. After highlighting it, we're going to click on Insert. Come over to the right. We have various types of sparklines. We're going to choose the sparklines called Line. Click here. We're going to get a box. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill out the data range for the sparklines. Now, whenever you're highlighting the data range, it's very important never to highlight the totals. Okay, so you have to make sure you do not highlight the totals. That said, we're going to highlight the area that our sparklines are based on. Once again, we have that area highlighted. Notice that the totals are not highlighted. Click OK. Next, as a rule, it's a good idea to click on markers for your sparklines, and then you can choose the appropriate style. We'll choose this style here called Sparkline Style Doc 3. Next, we're going to create a clustered column chart. You begin that process by highlighting the area that the chart is based on. We've already done that. Click on Insert. Come over here to Column Charts, and it would be the first one, Clustered Column. We're going to change our chart title. Easiest way of doing that is by clicking on the plus sign, or one of the ways of doing it. Chart title, above the chart, it's selected, and we're going to type in McKenna Restaurant Sales. After putting in our title or typing it in, we're going to change the chart style. Come up here. And we're going to move over to the right and choose Chart Style 8. We're going to change the color. Move over to the left, change colors, drop down arrow. in the colorful range, and we're going to choose 3. Lastly, our next step is we're going to go up to the quick layout area. Come down here and choose layout 3. Come over to our chart, hover over it, and we're going to move it over and place it right over here. Now we're going to prepare for printing. We have 2 sheets, and we want to print both sheets, Chapter 1, and also the sheet called Reference Formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply formatting to both sheets. And I'm going to do that by grouping the 2 sheets together. I'm going to click on Chapter 1, hold down the Shift key, and left click on the Reference Formula sheet. You can see they're both grouped together. And what grouping means is that what's done to one sheet gets done to all the sheets that are grouped. So they're both grouped together. I'm going to go up to Page Layout. I'm going to come over to Margins and make those margins narrow. Orientation, make it Landscape. Next, I'm going to come up to Page Setup. I'm still in that Page Layout tab. Page Setup. Come over here to the small little arrow for Page Setup. Left click. I look at my dialog box. I'm going to click on Margins. Center on page horizontally. Next, I'm going to click on Header and Footer. I'm going to go with a custom header. Click over here for custom header. And I'm going to use the buttons to set up my header. First off, I want to insert page numbers. I'm going to click on this button here to insert a page number. And this is in the left section of the header. Insert a page number. I'm going to click within the center section of the header. And I'm going to click on the button called Insert Sheet Name. Click OK. Lastly, I'm going to put in a custom footer. I'm going to click here on Custom Footer. In the left area of the footer, I'm going to click on the button that says Insert File Name. Click OK. Click Print Preview. After clicking at our Print Preview, I would save my file after printing it. Thank you.